Whether you've recently purchased an S550 Mustang, or have owned one for a few years, or are planning to get one, we've put together a list of top 5 mods that you need to do. And number 1 is guaranteed to surprise you. We're going to go through and give that overall list as well as my personal opinions and takes on some of these modifications. If you enjoy the content of this video, please click like and be sure to share it with other Mustang enthusiasts. Let's begin. Number 5, lowering springs for your Mustang. This is a great way to not only improve the looks, but the performance as well. Start with our Sport Progressive springs, our most popular springs. Because of the spring rates, they're friendly for daily driving, track days, autocross events, spirited driving, and drag racing. Now, if you're going to the track more often, let's say road racing and track days, look into our Ultimate Handling dual rate springs. These things are engineered for performance, yet very livable on the street. And if you're going drag racing and driving on the street once in a while, we have a set of drag springs that are going to meet your needs. Springs are available for both standard and Magnerite equipped cars. And again, this is a great way to really improve the performance and look of the car. Number 4, let's get into gear. Short shifters. What a great way to keep your driving experience phenomenal every time you drive the car, not to mention every time you're shifting. We offer a street short throw shifter and a race short throw shifter. The race short throw shifter has very narrow gating, super precise, a little bit more of a complex installation. This is what we're using in our race car as well as our Red 18. The street shifter, a little simpler installation, not quite as much of a reduction in throws, still a way better shift feel and throw than the stock unit. This will make driving and shifting every time fun. And to further improve your driving experience, do the clutch assist spring. The factory clutch spring gives so much assist that every time you press in the clutch, it almost feels like it's going to stay to the floor. We have the solution. It's our clutch assist spring, or you can get our clutch assist spring and perch. As noted, this gives less assist as you're pressing the clutch. So that means a firmer feel as you're pressing it down, and more importantly, better feedback as you're letting it out. You can actually feel the clutch engaging. You can actually feel the clutch disengaging. And just as importantly, when you're letting the clutch pedal out, it will return faster because there's less resistance against it. Must have this in your car. If this might be the first mod you should do. Flowing into the next mod, number 3, exhaust. The Mustang sounds really good from the factory, but we want to improve on that. And exhaust is a great way to make it sound the way you really want it to sound. So let's start with one of the easier modifications, the X-pipe or H-pipe resonator delete. If you're looking for a little bit more of a raspy sound, go with the X-pipe. If you want a little bit of a deeper muscle car sound, go with the H-pipe. Now, either one of these can be used with the active exhaust as well. So again, it's a great modification if you want to retain that. Speaking of the back end of the exhaust, an axle back. This is where the tone really changes of it. If you want to be louder, and when you get into that loud pedal, have people notice, the axle back's the way to do it. We offer a couple different options, whether you have a 15 to 17 or an 18 plus model. And then if you want to go a step further, go into our 3-inch catback. This will minimize any back pressure, and boy, does it sound awesome. We have this available for the 15 to 17. Over the years, in the Mustangs I've had the pleasure of driving, there's a few combinations that have really stood out to me. We'll start with one of the simpler ones, our H-pipe with an active exhaust. Now this is great because it's nice and subtle around town. When you throttle into it, especially when the exhaust opens up, it sounds amazing. It has that nice deep tone of a muscle car, yet again, when you're cruising on the highway, it's still pretty quiet. Just a little bit of enough rumble to let you know that it's still a Mustang. Moving on to Rod's car. Rod's car has the stainless works exhaust, cat back. And this system has chambered mufflers. This thing sounds like a muscle car should sound. It is awesome. Whether you're cruising on the highway or around town, it's as much a pleasure to hear it from outside the car as it is inside the car. And really my favorite was a combination that we used on the Red 18 before we started prototyping our 3-inch exhaust. On that car, we were running our axle back setup with an X pipe. This thing was the combination of mean, snarling, badass. It was cool, and when you went around the track, everybody knew you were coming. Not in an obnoxious sense, but man, like, what is this that's coming? Inside the car though, it sounded good. It wasn't too loud, it wasn't raspy, it wasn't nasty. It sounded good in the car, so good that I constantly wanted to have the windows down to hear what it sounded like outside the car. So again, great ways to personalize the sound of your Mustang, which ultimately leads to enjoying it. Hopping our way to number 2, our stop the hop components. These things are huge in putting the power to the ground. The independent rear suspension brought a lot of challenges to the Mustang as well as tuning it. Now the stop the hop kit benefits you in acceleration and it benefits you in cornering. So this modification can be used regardless of what you're doing. Very similar to our springs, this is a tremendous upgrade, and we have tons of videos showing exactly how much that rear subframe moves around. The other beauty to this kit, in particular our Stop the Hop starter kit, is that it doesn't increase noise, vibration, or harshness. You can also build it by piece, meaning you can buy the subframe alignment kit, you can buy the subframe support collars, and our coveted subframe support braces. All of these things will improve the responsiveness of the back of the car while making it more fun to drive and much quicker around a track, down a track, through the cones, or again, just enjoying it on the street. As good as the chassis is, these really genuinely help the back of the car, whether it's to put power down, especially if you've added a supercharger, but even naturally aspirated, these cars have wheel hop. And that's because of the deflection in the factory bushings, because the durometer of the rubber is really soft, so there's tons of movement. And again, you're gonna see that video footage. It's crazy to see how much that moves around without this kit. So this is a must-have to any enthusiast, and that's why it's number 2. And you may wonder what number 1 is? Well, that's coming up. Rolling into our number 1 recommendation, driver mod. Now, with how quick these cars have gotten, let's be realistic, they are fast. Between the independent rear suspension, the Coyote engine, even the EcoBoost cars, these cars can move out. And the reality is that it takes quite a driver to be able to drive them to their limit. In fact, even professional drivers continue to get coaching before every event. Let's add into the fact that we live in a great day of motorsports. There are tracks everywhere. You can go drag racing if you want to. You can go to the local road course if you want to. You can go to an autocross event, or again, you can enjoy your car on the street. Going to one of these track days and participating and using your car at the racetrack and really pushing it to its limits in a controlled environment will teach you as a driver what those limitations are in a safe environment. You'll also learn what the limitations of the car are and be better suited to do these other modifications like the Stop the Hop kit and really be able to appreciate the difference. Not only appreciate it by feel, but also see the improvement in times. When I first got into motorsports, I started out by going to HPDEs, which is High Performance Drivers Education events, all over the Chicago area. About 12 racetracks now that I've had a chance to go to between Chicago and South Florida. I digress. But the reality is, I started out with an instructor sitting next to me, went to a number of track days, I was hooked. Then came the modifications to the suspension, then came the sway bars, then came the header and exhaust. You can see where I'm going with this. The reality is, I really genuinely got into the sport and enjoyed the car in a controlled environment. And absolutely to this day, still love that environment. And just as well as enjoying the car and the modifications that I've made to the car are the friends that I've made at the racetrack. These are friends that I hope to have the rest of my life, and every track day I go to, or an autocross event, or the drag strip, I look forward to seeing every one of these guys and hanging out with them. We hope you will do the same, and most importantly, really genuinely hope that you're going to enjoy your car and making these modifications to it.